Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. DC Urban Gardener, DC Urban Gardener, Urban Gardener DC, whatever it is. I'm sorry. Urban Gardener DC. Back at the garden, Friday afternoon. First thing I see when I open this lovely gate, first thing I see, eaten tomato, another one. And then I scurry around and I look through my bed. And as you see back here, I have some really nice ripe tomatoes coming in. Got more even down there. Peppers, eggplants, everything's doing wonderful. And I look at the base of the bed, and what do I find? Four juicy tomatoes, couple little bites out of each one of them laying on the ground. Then back here I see two more down there. I have some ripe ones that I'm definitely gonna pick today just because of that. I mean, look at this one right here. I mean, look at this tomato plant right here, loaded with tomatoes. They're all semi-ripe, but I'm gonna pick them today. Tomorrow is actually our community day, so we're gonna have a lot of people here in the garden that are gonna get free vegetables from us. But I don't think I want to wait until tomorrow morning to harvest these because squirrels. And then, if you see right there, beautiful more tomatoes right there. And then I have this one bed all the way in the back here that one of the volunteers actually just kind of gave up. And it's all the way in the back. And all I had in it, there were some collards that were down underneath all the weeds that were in this bed. So I don't remember if I did a video or not, but I put radishes in, had some leafy lettuce in. But I noticed on these collards when I got back here, something's been munching on them, right? It doesn't look like insects. I've never seen the squirrels go after it. And then I look down here at the lettuce, and they're chewed right off. Right there again, chewed right off. And I'm seeing digging, like scratching like prints. Well, I only live 5 minutes around the corner. Like literally the garden is right here. I live 4 blocks that way. I mean, this is 24th Street. I live on 28th. So, hey. And then I'm walking around and I looked up here and I saw this kale munched. Another one munched. Not all of them, but 2 of them. So I'm starting to think as I walk down, and then I look at this broccoli. This is not my bed. This is another volunteer's bed. Something has been chewing on it. And I tell you, the reason I chose this community bed, I had a beautiful garden in my own backyard. My backyard is actually almost a 1/4 acre, which is a huge backyard for living in the city. Beautiful backyard. It's not that wide, narrow, but very long. Great sunlight after I took a couple trees out that were engulfed in poison ivy. I got rid of those the first year I was at the house. Got those done. Put my garden, built my raised bed, got everything going. Halfway through the summer, stuff's getting chewed on, stuff's getting eaten, can't figure it out. So I went out and bought, I'm sure you guys have seen those motion detector cameras that like deer hunters will use to try to track and find out movements of wildlife. It's got one of those. That didn't really work because every time the wind blew, the camera went on, so it wasn't enough. It wasn't like I was tracking a large animal. And it ended up being groundhogs. And I fought them off a little bit. They didn't mess with the tomatoes too much. They liked the leafy green stuff. They loved the Brussels sprouts. They ate all of those. They loved the collard greens. They ate all of those. And day to day, I would look out my kitchen window, and sure enough, that groundhog was back there munching on something. I went out, got a BB gun, tried plucking it a couple times. And I know it's not just one, it's usually a family that all have a den together. But my point is, even in an urban environment, because we have all of this wilderness, as you guys have seen in other videos, we have all this wonderful wilderness adjacent to the garden, even though the city street is right there. We have all this wonderful wildlife in this park. Let me get you a better angle. I know you guys have seen videos before, but we have acres and acres of forestry, you know, urban forestry, and it is just absolutely detrimental to the garden. So, being so detrimental, talking about my garden at home, I have squirrels, of course. Squirrels never messed with my garden, right? Never. I got no evidence ever of squirrels messing with it. Now, I do have a very large walnut tree adjacent to my backyard. I know the squirrels love those. I'll see the squirrels sitting on my deck on the handrail, just munching away, chewing the walnuts, taking the walnuts somewhere else, burying them for the fall or winter. So I think possibly by having that walnut tree, I was feeding the squirrels enough and not realizing it, but they're definitely attacking tomatoes and eggplants here in the garden. They haven't messed with the squash, the zucchini, obviously none of the peppers. You know, I'm not surprised about that. Nor even the cucumbers. They haven't messed with the cucumbers. But when you come into the garden and you see evidence on the wall, somebody was sitting here having a snack. I can't really see it with this angle, but there's a lot of tomatoes down, these little cherry tomatoes, right? There's a lot of ripe ones down on the ground underneath these plants. And then doesn't look like they're messing with these right here. But I do have a bunch of ripe better boys that I'm gonna pick now. Well, there's a tomato down there. And you get around this leaf. See it at the bottom? Halfway chewed. But I'm gonna go ahead and pick as much as I can and just put them in a brown paper bag overnight so that at least I have some vegetables to pass out to the community. I mean, it's not as fun for them to just get free vegetables than to actually pick them themselves. I just don't want to show up tomorrow morning and tell people that, sorry, the squirrels ate all the ripe tomatoes. So even though some of these are blushing, I think I'm gonna go ahead and pick what I have, and then I'll come back and show you exactly what I was able to harvest to try to save as much as we can to be able to have stuff for the community for tomorrow. But if you look back there in the corner, all the way back there, like right there, up on the wall, I took those half-eaten or two-bite-eaten tomatoes that were laying on the ground. I put them in the back where the tree line is, where I see the squirrels come in. So hopefully that'll give them dinner tonight, and they won't be aggressive and come into the garden any more than they already have. So let me go ahead and pick this stuff, and I'll be right back. All right, so just picked. I'll just show you what I did. Not a ton, but I picked what, 3, 6, 9. I got about 12 tomatoes that I just picked. They're all, I mean, if you look at the size of my hand, they're all a nice size slicer tomato. These are all that Better Boy variety. Beautiful looking fruit, though. No blemishes. I did notice on these, looks like the birds pecked them. I just see a couple, about 6 holes. That looks like bird probably looking for moisture, because I will say it has been extremely, this one hasn't been pecked though, so that's good. And this one still, you can cut those little spots out, not a big deal. But I will say that it's been extremely, extremely dry here. I think the whole country's been that way. But here in Washington, D.C., the last time we had rain, like a real rain, was about a month and a half ago. So probably at least 6 weeks. We did have a quick shower, scattered shower, on July 4th, late in the afternoon, but it wasn't even 1/8 of an inch of rain. I mean, I checked my rain gauge here in the garden. It was a sprinkle, right? It was a sprinkle. But these variety here, I mentioned before, is the Gardener's Delight cherry tomato. It's bigger than a cherry, smaller than a full-size tomato, but it's a really good eating. Slice them in half and, you know, roast them or saute them with other veggies. I eat them raw, slice them in half, drop them in a salad. We got actually some more better boys back down here. This is in that community bed, the main community bed, and a whole bunch of nice gardener's delight in there as well. Squash is still going okay. Not really sure back here. Cucumbers, for some reason, I usually get more cucumbers than I can shake a stick at. And this year, got a few, got maybe 6 or so that I've harvested, but the plants just boom, take off, and then boom, dissipate into nothing. But I harvested a bunch of okra yesterday. You can still see some up here. And then there's even more okra. Yeah, see, look, right here. If you ever see this in your garden, see that's been pecked out? That's the birds. Nothing else but birds looking for moisture. Really trying to get the water content out is really all they're doing. But yeah, a whole bunch of okra back here, back here. So I'll harvest okra in the morning for the community members that show up. And I've already picked some squash, but like down here, I have more yellow squash coming in. My personal bed, I have more squash coming in. A bunch of peppers. So yeah, we're gonna have more than enough stuff. And actually, in this bed, there's a bunch of butternut squash that are coming in. See that right there? So it's not really ripe enough yet, but it'll be enough for the community. I mean, that's the whole purpose of this garden. I have some more of these beautiful honeycomb tomatoes, cherry style tomatoes. Those are actually a really good eating tomato as well. Just raw or a salad or, you know, any type of stir fry. So that's about it, guys. But yeah, I'm curious. So I did a video about, you know, all of this deer netting that I had put up. Put this, you know, wood base and bricks and everything else. Somehow the squirrels are still getting in. I don't know if they're climbing the post, but I mean, this netting is secured all corners. So I'm not sure what I'm missing. I'm sure they're able to climb this post, but I would have thought they would have been too scared to get stuck inside of the bed. But maybe the beds are overgrown enough that they're not intimidated and they'll just climb right back out on the tomato cages or something of the sort. But somehow they're still jumping in the beds. So what am I going to do? As you see, I left a bunch of half-ripened tomatoes. I know it's hard to tell from this angle and distance, but they're nice, almost softball size. And then I actually have some more squash back there that I'll cut down. I'll cut in the morning. And then I'll try to tomorrow. I don't think a lot of people are too big into being filmed or video taken of them, but maybe I'll set up a camera and just get some basic generic content of people that are here or people that are stopping by to pick up some free vegetables for themselves, or maybe some other gardeners might want to chime in. I don't know. A lot of people get timid when you pull a camera out. They're not really sure, you know, if they want to be taped or whatever. But, you know, most of us here, shoot, I don't really care. I could set up a camera and just work out here and weed and water and do whatever all day and share the content with you guys, my subscribers. So with that being said, speaking of subscribers, do me a favor. If you like this content, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up. Hit the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. You'll get notifications every time I upload new content. Trying to do it at least a couple times a week, at most a couple times a month, just to give you guys updates when we have them. So with that being said, I will see you guys on the next one and hopefully get some content at Community Day tomorrow. Talk to you soon.